Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And, I have not done enough on the man behind me, Klaus Schwab. Klaus! Now, I just want you to think about something for a moment. Do you think that America in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s would have accepted orders from a man named Klaus? You think the greatest generation that fought in World War II would say, what's a great idea? Let's listen to an authoritative technocrat, because this is a technopoly. This is not a technocracy. Somebody who's pushing a transhumanist agenda via a global reset and world government. Let's do that. And we don't elect him? And he just dictates to our lives? Give me a break. So what I've been doing today is going through the C-SPAN archives, amongst other things. And I started watching one of these forums from Davos in 1998 where, Klaus is the moderator and Bill Gates is sitting there still as the CEO and founder of Microsoft. And they're talking about the 21st century business revolution coming up, okay? And admittedly, I have not watched the whole thing. I watched like 45 minutes out of, 42 minutes out of an hour and 10. We're going to be 100% honest with everybody. But they're talking about more along the lines of the internet coming into being and the transition of things that we've seen via Amazon and the movement of the economy to globalization and the instantaneous measures of communication, okay? And they're really just starting to talk about the phase that's now being implemented, which is the deindustrialization of this country, okay? And really the world in a manner that, it'll be industrial, but it'll be an automation nation with a UBI society. And if you have any doubts at this point, that this is about a global reset, that this is about a transhumanist agenda, well, Klaus here, he's going to tell you what it is, and he's going to tell you this is about your physical, biological, and digital identity coming together. What do you think transhumanism is? So, guys, buckle up. We're really going to dig a little bit deeper today. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. And remember, guys, okay, we are fully demonetized here. Fully demonetized 7+ months. Only with your help are we able to try to hit our goal of $5,000 a month. We usually do not, but we have in the past. And I think that this month we have a good chance to do it. So if you appreciate me going live several times a day for free with information you're not going to see just about anywhere else, please consider supporting me. And remember, Rockfin. If I do get booted from this platform, that's where you'll be able to find me. We also do exclusives and free, 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. So make the account, join us live, or join us within the first 24 hours, and you get to see that broadcast for free. A lot of that stuff I do not put on YouTube, quite frankly, because I don't want to violate terms of service. So I get a little spicier over on Rockfin sometimes. And plus, again, it's an alternative platform that is helping empower people through information instead of us enslaving us by restricting that information. All the documentary films, they are free right now in the playlist section. Go consider checking them out after this broadcast. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture. And here's where I want to start, okay? Here's where I want to start. They're not even hiding anymore. Here's Justin Trudeu, okay? Now, this guy doesn't have an original thought in his head. He's from a privileged class of people that was groomed to be a front man. Groomed to be a front man. That's what all of the people were going to go. Joe Biden's a front man. Trudeu is a front man. And in a lot of ways, Schwab is a front man in a sense for other people's ideal sets that he happens to agree with his authoritarian nature. Think of Schwab as more like a Henry Kissinger type, but instead of managing, the U.S. military industrial complex and global spectrum dominance that way, he fields all these nations together in forums to try to present an agenda, okay, and promote that these businesses are benevolent and doing the right thing as this full spectrum dominance goes on, as a social credit score is built, as our humanity is taken away right in front of our eyes. What? And authoritarianism becomes the new norm. Now listen to what Trudeu said. The guy that likes to prance around in blackface. Yeah, he did that a couple times. He wants to be Aladdin, but don't forget, he wants to have a arm-sized hog stuffed in his pants at a summer camp. These are the people we make leaders so they can spout propaganda like this.
Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs.
2030 Agenda right in your face. Look up Agenda 201. Read what they want for the 2030 Agenda. I'll tell you right now, it's not butterflies and unicorns for me or you. I promise you that.
Canada is here to listen and to help. This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change.
You think they care about poor people? And again, whenever I hear the word opportunity to address things that were on a pre-agenda, I'm not supposed to question it. I'm not supposed to point out that this guy's saying it right here, right now. Puppet Trudeu. Nice gray goatee there, Justin. Really making you look a lot older. Yeah, making you look a lot more authoritative. Huh. Now, Klaus Schwab is going to tell you right here, right now, that this is about transhumanism by saying this is going to lead to a fusion of our physical, digital, and biological identity.
It's at the end, what the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, our digital, and our biological identities.
What do you think this is? Physical, digital, biological. You know what's not talked about? Your spiritual identity. The idea that you might have a morality or a soul or something outside of your physical, digital, or biological identity. And I'm no preacher, and I'm not pumping religion here, but there's a reason that Eisenhower called the battle against the military-industrial complex what? A spiritual revolution. Okay, this is a spiritual matter. He put that in there. He said, and even spiritual. All right? But this guy and his buddies, that's not what it's about. It's about the autocratic nature of cronyism and lies. All right? And now I'm going to watch this entire thing. I'm actually going to mute this because I want to talk over it because there's not a lot here other than, the love fest between Klaus Schwab and the new front man for the United States, if they get him in. We're a ways away. Chaos is coming. Tomorrow we're going to get an announcement. We're going to see how far it goes. We already saw what happened in D.C. But Klaus Schwab and Joe Biden have known each other for quite some time in this. Right away, we might even do a full watch along with this, depending on it. I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched like the first 10 minutes of it. And he's talking about how, many years ago, Joe Biden was here and he was a senator and he worked so hard and he was always taking meetings and he's the guy. You wonder why they picked a guy like Biden? Because they know he will roll over for globalism. Well, I mean, they also know that his mental capacity to do anything really isn't there. But as a front man for globalism, hey, he probably remembers who Klaus is. If Klaus walked in the room, he'd probably know who he was. I'm giving it like a 96% chance. But then again, who knows? Maybe he'll call him his dead son, Beau, right? He introduces his granddaughter that way, literally on the day of the election. But I'm supposed to ignore that as well. So, my point is with this, with the title, is these guys, again, this is autocratic nature of unelected people, what? Really manipulating the system openly and outwardly to make people believe that these are benevolent organizations. The World Economic Forum is a benevolent organization. Bill Gates is a benevolent man. Joe Biden wants to be your best buddy, right? Give me a break. And right now, we're seeing it. We're seeing them openly talk about what? A better economy is possible, but we need to reimagine capitalism to do it. This is it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. And, it's not a coincidence that we're moving more and more into what? A digital currency, that Bitcoin is picking up. Love crypto or hate crypto. I'm somewhere in the middle. I understand that it is an inevitability that is going to be an intricate part of our economic system. In some ways, it's good. But again, I've always talked about quantum computing, the possibilities of breaking crypto encryption. A lot of people think that that's not possible. I think it's very possible. In fact, they've talked about quantum encryptions. Anything digital, something can happen. We just don't know. Our small little brains and minds are ever evolving, okay? But this guy, he wants you to evolve into what? Some kind of Kurzweilian nightmare, in my opinion. And with PayPal now incorporating crypto into their wallet and these people pushing for that reimagination of capitalism, you better believe this is all on the agenda. And that's why they're promoting this Great Reset on the Time magazine cover. Now, what I want to point out about the irony of this cover is, what do you have there? You have a bunch of people doing jobs. Yeah, I hate to tell everybody this, but the Great Reset, if they're going to have people rebuilding, okay? If they're having people rebuild, it's not going to be people. It's going to be one of those people and a bunch of robots, like a supervisor. Have you seen Westworld? Westworld is a great reimagination of what these people want, okay? A track trace database society in which what? Artificial intelligence makes all the big decisions. Drones and rockets are flying around, all right? People are integrated with working with machines, and you have a social credit score on your phone. It's all about social credit. In fact, they refer to it in this latest season when they go outside of the park as a meritocracy. I mean, if you haven't watched Westworld, I think it's important, because talk about a show that, explores transhumanism and the reality behind that and artificial intelligence. Okay? That one's deep. And again, those are based on Michael Crichton novels. So I want to come back around and try to explain to people that this has nothing to do with a virus at this point. The Great Reset has nothing to do with a virus, because Tony Fauci is with Jake Tapper saying that social distance masks still necessary after getting the COVID-19 vaccine. And he tries to spin it and say, well, the 90% efficacy, there are those that aren't going to take it. And of course, there are those that it's not going to work for. So we think that those measures should remain in place after you have the vaccine. And Jake Tapper doesn't challenge it at all. Made me want to vomit. And by the way, Christmas? No Christmas for you. No, according to Tony Fauci in his little Faucian manner. All right. And remember, they're telling you that this is a vaccine that you're going to have to get twice minimum. And then you may have to get it on a rolling basis, like the flu vaccine I don't fucking take. And a lot of you do not take. And for good reason. Why would I take that when I have an immune system? When I'm a rather healthy 41-year-old? I'm not perfect. Got a little bit of a belly. Shameful, I know. My arms are like spaghetti these days. My muscle barely pumps up. It's sad. But I'm still healthy enough to take on a virus that 99.98% of people under 50 survive. And according to the WHO, 99.4% easy, and probably higher than that overall survive. Okay? But that's not what they're telling you. You know, Rand Paul put this out there, and this is the medical press. SARS-CoV-2 antibodies provide lasting immunity. See, because it's not just about one vaccine or two vaccines. It's about a rolling authoritarian medical martial law to keep you in place as they track, trace, and database you in a social credit score system where you are under a universal basic income system that you have to sign on to, welfare for all. I want technology to empower human beings, not enslave them. And I will push back as hard as I can on this. And some people are pushing back. The British Medical Journal, okay, has been around 180 years. Now, thank you to whoever sent me this. It was either in my Facebook comments or on Twitter. I'm not quite sure. I get a lot of stuff. I don't look at all of it, but I did happen to come across this. And a couple days ago from this gentleman who is an executive editor over there, Cameron Abbasi, okay, when good science is suppressed by the medical political complex, people die. Politicians and governments are suppressing science. They do so in the public interest, they say, to accelerate availability of diagnostics and treatments. They do so to support innovation, to bring products to market at unprecedented speed. Both of these reasons are partly plausible. The greatest deceptions are found in a grain of truth. B, the underlying behavior is troubling. I'm sorry. You get it, guys? You still I mean, you go check this out yourself. Again, truth's not everybody's a monster. Not everybody's a part of this authoritarian great reset that they're trying to put out. But when you get into guys like Biden, Gates, Schwab, Trudeu, what? They've had a long-lasting relationship. And when you watch the one with Gates here, let's go back to it for a second. When you watch this one, again, I'm only 40 minutes deep in it, but there's another gentleman there, Gupta, who's constantly talking about the redefinition of what a corporation is actually going to be. And obviously, we've seen that with these big tech companies that are working with our government to suppress information 100% and then acting as though they're private companies. I'll say it again. Google, Alphabet, YouTube, they're not just monopolies. They're monopolies that inherently work with the government, our government and others, right? When you talk about Google working with the Chinese government for their censored internet dragonfly, Eric Schmidt, our best buddy, someone on the National Security Council in this country, that's not a problem. And it's not a problem that Google works with NASA on what? Quantum computing. And we already discussed that quantum computing could lead to encryption breaking and perhaps the control and manipulation of crypto markets down the line. That's something that's been around for quite some time, right? So they work with them on that, quantum computing, which also in turn works with artificial intelligence, which by every major nation's white papers is what will be needed to be the dominant nation in the future. That's a monopoly. You got the first and second largest search engines in the world, Google and YouTube, the largest video platform, the largest overall operating system that you openly were like, COVID-19 trackers on this thing? Apps, yeah. Yeah, we'll just put it into our operating system, no problem. That's not a monopoly. That's part of the Technopoly. That's part of the Great Reset program of an automation nation UBI society on the brink of transhumanism. And that's where we are today in 2020. And when you say Agenda 2030, that's around the corner. I'm telling you right now, the last 10 years of my life, like that. They fly by. The older you get, and everybody out there who's experienced this, time rolls quicker and quicker the less time you have. And I guarantee you guys, no matter what they sell you down the line, you only have so much time left. Immortality, digital or otherwise, is not a reality. There is something else that is involved in our very essence as human beings, and I truly believe that. You're never going to be able to upload that to the cloud or be in some simulation they're going to sell you on. That's not you, I promise you. Oh, guys, almost 600 watching, not even 200 thumbs up. Let's get the thumbs up on the way out. If you're not subscribed, now's the time to join the Burmese Brigade. And remember, guys, we've been demonetized here for 7+ months because the kind of material we go over is not stuff you're going to see on MSNBC or Fox News. Okay? We dig deep, we go hard, we check out the archives. We don't have an agenda outside of telling the truth. And a lot of people, that hurts them because they want to believe in heroes. They want hopium for the masses, that someone's going to save them. Look at me now. You will save you. You will save your family. You will save your friends. It is you. It is nobody else. Okay? No one's riding on a white horse in digital armor to take these monsters out. It is through the spreading of information and opposing these policies, no matter what, that will have any effect. So again, guys, $5, $10, $15, big donors. You mean the world to me. Thank you for letting me do this. I'd love to hit the mark this month. That would be amazing if we could actually hit the mark this month. And remember, we're over on Rockfin tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. That's where I will be live and free with your free account. Now, there's always some confusion because people see the premium stuff. Now, you notice the premium stuff over on the side. You can find that on Twitter. You can find that here on YouTube. Okay, for now, unless they ban me. Okay, those things are always going to be free. And initially, every broadcast we do here is free. I'm not comfortable putting everything behind a paywall. There will always be somewhere where you can see my stuff for free. But as we know, YouTube is more and more restrictive. So a lot of these 11 a.m. broadcasts are becoming completely exclusives. And then to get into the archives after 24 hours, you do need a premium account. Now, the premium account, $10 a month, this is a Netflix for creators. Okay? So Jimmy Dore's on here, The Convo Couch, Nico House, Slow News Day, Action for Assange, and many others. I highly encourage you to at least get the free account so you can join me. Make sure you're checking out all the documentary films, Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture down below. And again, thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Let's hit 60,000 subscribers. Let's get to 75. Let's get to 100. I'd love to hit 100,000 before they arbitrarily take me off with selective enforcement without giving me a reason. Because if you think this channel's going to get a reason when they take me off, think again. I absolutely love you guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.